everyone, welcome back to this week Weekly Market Update. As usual, let's see what happened last week and then we will talk into more on next coming week, things to watch out for as well. So last Friday we can see that the market actually came down. Uh, you can see the headline is down actually went up, but to me it's not really because compared to Nasdaq and S&P 500, we can see that both index actually came down compared to down itself. This is because due to the Fed have comment on the market itself. So what did they comment on last Friday is that right? I think it's written over here. Give me a second. Okay, so Fed actually released the minutes from its March meeting on Wednesday, reviewed that the policy plans to reduce their bond by a consensus amount of 95 billions. Alright, so they are trying to cut the free easy money right now. And the central bank is also considering interest rate hike of 50 basis point in future. So we know that on the last meeting they had, right, they actually increased 25 basis point. I think that is acceptable. A small number of hike compared to how's the easy money came since the pandemic, since before that, right? So it doesn't really impact the market so much, and people doesn't really feel that at the start of it. But with a hike of 50 basis point, things getting serious. And like I say, inflation is getting serious. That's why the hike have to go through. But will it be 50 basis point or 25 basis point? Likely right now, high possibility everyone is looking on the 50 basis point. So that is what causes the market to have fluctuate, has more volatility over the last week. And not only that, sector that actually affected on last week, right? We can see that it's actually the financial sector, company like JP Morgan's, Mercury Express, that actually came down last week. All right, but things to watch out is actually on the healthcare and the consumer staple sector. They rally because uh people worry about slow economy pivot, so they will actually go for stable earnings. This is what I have been repeating, saying in my weekly video, saying that if interest rate is going to hike, do not buy into company that are not earning money. Do not buy into company that have high debts. But some people will be curious, how come that by having a hike in the interest rate, right, it should benefit the finance sector. But why did the finance sector, like the bank sector, actually came down instead? Um, a lot of reason out there. All right, there's a lot of reason out there. Yes, eventually it gives banks a good earning because they can charge more on people who actually borrow money for them. But it's also tightened because no free easy money, no money for them to lend up. So it's a vice versa lah. So it's not really 100% benefit. After all, people who don't want to lend more money, right? Correct. People don't want to borrow more money as well, right? Because of the expensive interest. So this is why on the financial side, the ETF later will be looking into the chart itself. It actually came down last week. And another thing, due to that, right, due to the Fed comment, the 10 years U actually hitting 3 years high, above 2.7%, is a breakout from the descending channel which I shared previously. We will look into the chart as well. So right now, this is the concern because it might reach 3% very soon. All right, it might reach 3%. When this go up, it's really, really very bad to the market lah. It's really, really bad to the market. So that is what causes the market to have more volatile on this last week as well, or perhaps this coming few weeks or going forward. So take note of a couple of things. Next week, Friday is a short week. It's a good Friday, Monday to Thursday, trading days. Investor is looking ahead of the earnings season kickoff starting from JP Morgan on Wednesday and then followed by the other banks on Thursday market opened. So this is what I have been saying. Market should be stagnant, should be sideways at a concurrent moment. Even though after the Fed increase the rate. Why? The Ukraine-Russia war, yes, everyone gets stagnant of it because this war is going to, war cannot be finished over the week, which I mentioned. It's going to last for months or perhaps years. Correct. Right now, if you have been following Russia, Ukraine, you can see that Europe side or the UK side, I think is supporting the Ukraine, and Russia is actually increasing more soldiers. So yes, it's a volatile to oil, but if let's say you do not trade the commodities, then just stay aside, all right? Because it's high speculated on the oil currently. So this is the bank earning, and a hot inflation report could sway the market in short holiday week. So this is what I said, right? 4 trading days kick off with bank earnings, and one thing to watch out for is actually coming week. There is an economic data like CPI, Consumer Price Index. This time round, this CPI is heavily focused. Why do I say that by heavily focused? Because this is the last report data to determine. All right, this is the coming week of the catalyst for another higher move higher. So it's to determine whether will they hike the 50 basis point, is the encouragement to the Fed or not. So this is the last key data point on Fed meeting in May, 3rd of May. All right, so this guy actually mentioned on it. So just want to highlight to share with you guys as well. All right, so earnings season kickoff, and just to watch out on that. So earnings seasons we start off with JP Morgan, BlackRock, then Delta Airline. All right, like United Health, this actually went up because of the stable, right, of the stable sector itself. So finance sector didn't perform well last week. This earnings report really kickstart because it does put into place of the first hike, does put into place of the Q1's earnings season. How does it affect the coming other companies' earnings as well? All right, so without further ado, let's go to the chart directly. So for the chart itself, right, this is Dow Jones. We can see that on Dow Jones, like I say, it moved sideways since I've been updating the weekly, right? After the breakout came down, right now being supported, is moving sideways. There is no significant breakout or breakdown, so it's hard to trade at this point of time lah. To be frank, trading you might want to go even to short terms like an hour chart, but if you want to ride on position or swing tradings, right, this might not be a good time to enter because we are actually stuck in between. This is the hardest. Unless you stock pick the correct stock, then they will have some movement. Right now, a lot of liquidity have been shifted to the commodity side because it's one way uptrend. Most of the commodities, due to the sensation, due to uh, high demand out there. That's why inflation come in, right? That's why the interest rate hike just to make things expensive, so that the demand will actually slow down for the supply to catch up. This is what happened on the inflation side. So, but right now, eventually, you can see that there's some greens color on the daily candlestick, but on the weekly, we can see that it's well resisted by this 35,000. This one I have not delayed because it stated 34, 35, 35.6 are very crucial, these three level. So right now it's forming, after the last week, it forming a doji. Right now, secondly, you're forming a very close doji. So it's trading very narrowly right now. All right, it's waiting for a big market movement. So we won't know, but I am more biased on the downside based on the current situation with the easy money no longer there, with the rate hike coming in. All right, so I'm more bearish. I'm more biased on the bearish side, lah. To be frank, I mean I'm at the bear zone at the moment. All right, I'm at the bear zone at the moment. So these two resistance need to break away 35, 35.6 to see new high. Otherwise, I am on the bear territory. All right. So next Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is kind of like obvious lah. Okay, so this is what I draw on the 20 March. I didn't redraw it. Go and see my YouTube video. That's why I write here. I also lazy to redraw. All right, there's a descending triangle pattern, descending support. I mean resistance. We can see that this is what I mentioned. Watch out for this level, 14,200, which is here. This level resisted by 78.6 Fibonacci level. This layer, this level. Second is the 14,500. All right, and then the thirdly will be 14,800. Must break 14,800. All right, above all the moving average, above this straight color candle, in order to see for the bull sign. Yes, market went up a week before, but it came down. So when you go to the day chart, there is actually some signal. All right, it's well resisted. You can actually short. But the thing is that what happened on the coming week, we won't know whether people will want to cut their positions. It's a short week. Don't want with big data coming in. They want to stay sideways. They might want to cut the positions currently. But we might see that they actually cover this small gap. That means it will actually go up. Market always give a second chance lah. All right, so it might give you a second chance, cover, and then this is where you are looking, aiming to short. Stop loss here. All right, so your P&L, your risk and reward is actually quite a huge range lah. Not a big lah, but it's still there. But if let's say this uh 12,500 did not support well enough, we may see a big breakdown. All right, so this is what I'm looking for Nasdaq. Take note, Nasdaq is highly sensitive to rate hike due to most of the technology is on the high debt company. All right, so next counter we will be looking in today is just a few recap. Gilead. This is what I shared in my Telegram group, asking people to buy. So 62 or 61 is the P and take profit. So we hit lah. Basically we hit. Right now, since it's going up, uptrend, we are following it. The next target is at 64. So I just recap for people who still holding on Gilead, then just want to continue hold. This is actually a good counter to be frank. Firstly, uh, we know that healthcare is sensitive to their research, correct or not? But ultimately, this support $56, $60 since 2017. All right, since then lah. So this is kind of like a good support area for you to long term, and then we are looking to right to 83. My ultimate target is 83 lah. I mean, looking at Willy chart, my ultimate target is 83. It's possible. Don't laugh. I don't have crystal ball, but I know that my risk reward is really worth taking the right. All right, risk reward is worth taking the right. And right now, people want to be more safe side. Definitely, no matter what, you still need medicines. You know, you still need staple. So another staple company that we are looking at. Let me clear all this first. Another staple company we are looking at is actually UHN. UNH or oh sorry, UNH. All right. So this is what happened. Can you see there's a breakout? So people go to more safe side stock counter. This is how you ride on the trend itself. Right, supported, 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 you right. Okay, better than your trade index is very ding dong here and there. It's kind of like sideways. So another counter which is staple is actually Coca-Cola. No matter what, you still drink Coke, I still drink Coke. So we can see that Coke actually spike up lah. Alright, so Coke is a good investment. Warren Buffett used to be inside, but he came out, but doesn't mean it's not good, even though he came out, right? So I have been monitoring. See, this is where I mentioned 2021 lah. So if you are holding it for long term, since then 50, 60, $13 hike, I mean 30%. Why not? Correct or not? So it's a good thing. For people who hold on Coke for a longer term. Okay, no, next counter. Let's take a look. XLF, this is what I mentioned on the financial sector, the ETF. Can you see? So what happened on the finance sector ETF? This ETF is actually to measure all the finance sector company lah, mostly all, not entirely, mostly all big company. So it actually continue came down. All right, and then it formed one doji with long wick. Right now it's up. Okay, so short term wise, we might see some rebound, but ultimately it's not showing a good sign lah. This is like an up right now is showing. Right, it's not a good sign. Why? Because we can see this is how it goes. Previously higher of the previous high. All right, higher of the previous high. Right now it's lower of the previous high. Lower of the previous high. So this is how we see. All right, correct or not? This is not good, but this is coming down. What? If you draw a parallel line, understand? So I think my drawing is messy. Let's draw the real line. So sorry guys. Okay. So if you draw a channel, this is a day chart. All right. So that is very obvious, right? So previously, where the market, we always trade with trend, right? Like I mentioned, we always trade with trend. Okay, so when it's down, up, down, we know it's uptrend, right? Trend, we know it's uptrend, uptrend. This is really the height of it. This is the slight uptrend. Right now, it's a slight downtrend. Okay, otherwise you can say that it's a mid trend. All right, otherwise this is then called a mid trend. All right, sideways, but it's not. So we can see that right now, we may see some rebound first. The earnings coming next week might be some very volatile. But if let's say it hits somewhere near here, you may want to close it. Somewhere near here, you may want to long it. All right, so this is depend. But right now we are trading at a trend. One touch, two touch, three touch is significance. All right, three touch is significance already. Okay, so let's see whether we touch or otherwise you may want to break below this middle line. This is also where you can short lah. Okay, so I'm not going to write here unless I give call. Otherwise, just put some notes in your own watch list lah. Okay, this is just to go through with you guys. Take note. I mean, this is coming down. Does it means that those finance sector like JP Morgan's, Goldman Sachs, all will be affected as well lah. So just take note of your positions. So next counter we will be looking into uh just a recap. Craft, also a staple, right? Used to be in Warren Buffett. Remove as well. I'm not sure whether it's code remove or this remove. I think it's this remove lah. So continue to go up lah. So yeah, I'm still inside. Next, okay. So like I say, lumber is kind of like interesting to me. I mean, I don't really go into commodities guys lah. I'm more equity, but it's actually kind of like interesting because of the chart pattern. We can see that it's supported. Okay, it's supported 1 2. Right now, this is the weekly chart. It form a long wick soon. It's formed lah, but it's not green mah. So if let's say it's green, it's much nicer. So right now I am looking at this area. Alright, I'm looking at this area. If we able to touch here, this is where we are looking. Like I said, commodities is the is might be playing out lah for these few months, because not just this, the another one which I mentioned is actually natural gas. How many of you still following on this thing? All right, finally it touched. Oh, so sorry. Finally it touched my $6.30 all-time high. Not all-time high. I mean previous high. All right. So if finally it touches, okay, this is what I mentioned. We can see that it go up, go up. So I recommended since here lah. So people who write it up, then congrats to you guys lah. All right. So I don't earn any money from you guys. I'm just sharing. Ultimately, I just wish you guys to continue to share with your friends, continue to like, and just give me a support as well. All right. So ultimately, this is where it hit natural gas. All right, people who want can continue to hide it up. Just shift up your stop loss. But if people who want to be more safe side, take your profit first, and then we shall revisit again. So next, what counter to watch out for? I mean, if let's say there is any opportunity, people who are really hand itchy, who really want to go into the market, three counter which I can mention. One counter used to mention before, lyft. All right, this is like another car sharing company like Grab or Uber. So this is what I mentioned. Karana, wow, hit pretty nice. Okay, so congrats to all follower. We hit the $38, $38 here. Right now it go even lower. People who take partial profit, continue right, you got your bonus. So I will continue to short this. I mean, whether we are enter now or wait for a pullback, this is up to you to decide. All right. I will give a call if I entered in my private Telegram group. So this is likely to be continue go down. All right. So let's draw. Okay. Based on FIBO, the first layer is here. So profit not that a lot. It's actually a 23.6%. All right. So this is the first layer. It's not a lot, like I mentioned. Second, we will be looking at once it's break this what previous low, which is around $20. $21.50. All right. So I am most likely is looking at here lah, because they're still not earning company mah. All right. Like I said, high interest rate high, don't invest is not earning company. So then we short it lah, since we are not buying. All right. Next counter we are looking is actually MGM Resort. All right. Yes, we know my economy is open, which I mentioned on Las Vegas. Everyone is need, but one more thing, rate hike lah. So a lot of things will impact. So right now for this thing, we can see on the weekly chart, left shoulder, the height, and the right shoulder. Okay, so this support line, $37. Once it give way, this one will catch up. Once it give way, then we are looking at this layer, $30. All right. So this is what I'm looking at. Couple of counters lah, just to short it. Next counter for today will be Boeing. We know many things happen to their flight lah, many things. All right. So descending channel. Oops, sorry. All right, descending channel. You just continue to draw. All right, it's very tight. It's very tight. But last week closing is not good because I think there's a report to another air flight or few air flight is not doing good as well. So where are we looking at? Boeing, since it break the 190 support right now, turn resistant. I'm looking at the next level around here before we go into here. All right, so this is what I'm looking at. I am more biased on the downside for Boeing at this point of time lah. All right, I mean, to be frank, if let's say height increase, even for airline to shop for new airplane, also painful in their pocket. True or not? So, and they are got so many problems, so many bad news. I'm more on the downside for Boeing as well lah. All right, so that's all for this week weekly market update. Just be cautious, short week, no trading on Friday. If you want to do position and swing trading, please make sure you choose the right counter, or otherwise just stay aside, hold your cash. I think there's one analyst said, I can't remember, it's okay to hold on your positions, or it's okay to have a few positions that make huge money. All right, doesn't mean you need to keep participate in the market, because the moments you keep participate, you also have a high chance to lose more money as well. All right, so just one or two good one big right, and there you go for the year. All right, that's all for me. We are end of the first quarter, coming on the first quarter earnings report. We shall see on the next quarter report how does it perform. I mean, for the coming up quarter report, how does it perform. That's all. Thank you everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.